Just after 1 o'clock here in Austin, and the lights are about to go green to signal the start of qualifying here at the Circuit of the Americas. Austin's a relatively new circuit on the Formula One calendar, and with so few winners, no one has yet been able to stamp their authority on this track. There isn't any one driver that you can guarantee will dominate here.
This year there are so many drivers who could get onto pole position by the end of today's qualifying session. It could be a 4- or 5-way battle. Either way, it's going to be an exciting few minutes.
So here we are, guys, for the United States Grand Prix in F1 2015 career mode. In a way, I'm looking forward to this race because I find it a challenge, because I'm not very good at this track. But in other ways, as I said, I'm not very good at this track, so I'm sort of not looking forward to it. So anyway, this is our qualifying lap here. Obviously, as we only do 25% races, we can only have one shot qualifying, which still really annoys me to this day. I still want to do 3-session qualifying in this career mode, but it's just a bit annoying that the game isn't laid out that way, so unfortunately we can't do that. But anyway, through the first couple of corners here, you can see we're not really keeping up with the likes of the Mercedes, but we're sort of hovering around that sort of 10th to 14th position in the leaderboard. If you look at the top left, you see the live position of where we are on the lap. We gained a bit of time through the S's at the start of the lap here. Not that far behind Nico Rosberg. Lose a bit of time here, though. You can see he's just so much more traction out of that corner there, but we still stay inside the top 10 for now. Just braking now into the hairpin before the long straight here. I think I messed this one up a little bit. I didn't really take a wide enough line through there, so it looks like I don't get enough momentum down this straight. Obviously, we will get the help of DRS down this straight, but as will everyone else in the qualifying session as well. So obviously the DRS doesn't really help out much. It probably even loses us time because we don't have the straight line speed anyway. But braking it at the end of the straight, getting it turned in, I thought that was a pretty good section of the track there for me, where it's still within sight of Rosberg here. Just what, 1.7 seconds is that behind Nico Rosberg. That's not that bad whatsoever, especially on this track where I'm just not very good. Then it's this sort of last sector on the track where I sort of just messed up. I ran wide there, that lost me a bit of time, and then in these last couple of corners, I don't know why, but I just seem to lose a lot of time. I run, I think, slightly wide through here, not really taking the racing line through here, braking into the left hand here, missing the apex completely. Now the run up to the final corner, and then a very short run to the start finish line, braking, turning in, hitting the apex just about there. Now the run up to the start finish line. Looks like we're going to be P12 in qualifying here for the United States Grand Prix. And yeah, is that good for me? I don't know. I'd say that's probably about right. I mean, I don't know if we out-qualify my teammate. We'll see that in a second here. But honestly, I don't know whether I could have done much better than that. I'm not very good, as I said, at this track. But anyway, let's have a look at the qualifying results there. We finished 12th place just behind Danny Kvyat and Nico Hülkenberg. Scrolling down, we do start ahead of Verstappen, which is good. But anyway, let's head over to David Croft and Anthony Davidson for the race preview.
Welcome to Texas, where we've had approximately 120,000 race fans through the gates to attend this year's US Grand Prix. They're excited, we're excited. I hope you're excited too. On pole today is Lewis Hamilton. The Mercedes was dominant during qualifying, and with the power unit advantage, well, you just can't see anybody challenging for that race win today.
He's definitely going to be difficult to beat today, but anything can happen, so we'll have to keep a close eye on how this unfolds over the course of the race.
What a race it was for Sebastian Vettel last time out. The German was back to his best and put in an almost flawless performance.
Well, after winning those 4 world titles back-to-back, Seb certainly struggled to adapt to the new hybrid V6 era. True to the saying, form is temporary and class is permanent, he's back to winning Grand Prix and showing just what a great talent he is.
So it is race day. This is the United States Grand Prix, Texas, Austin, whatever you want to call it. It's a track where we should see a lot of overtaking at least. There are DRS zones and quite a few places where you can go for decent overtakes here. But anyway, the lights are out, away we go. We go straight into that rich fuel mixture because we want to get a good start and hopefully gain some positions. Look like a Force India there behind us was trying to gain some positions, but there's a big gap down the inside and I thought, let's go for it. It's got us up to 8th position ahead of Romain Grosjean there. Not too sure whether AI weren't a bit more defensive through there. And that's got us up into 8th place now. And now we're going to be chasing. Oh, Ricciardo and Massa who have just made contact. We just about avoid Massa and Massa comes back at us here. There's a bit of contact. Running side by side with Felipe Massa. He goes around the outside. We leave a bit of space for him there. And we're trying to go around the outside of him once again now. Are we going to be able to get that move done? And yes, we managed to get past Felipe Massa. A bit of a hectic first lap for me there, or first half of a lap there. We managed to gain quite a few positions from P12 up to P7. That's a really good start for us. Knocking over the bollard. Didn't really intend to do that, but anyway, down the back straight we've still got Romain Grosjean, who seems to be mostly the person that we battle with in this race series so far. He seems to be the one that we always seem to race against. So yeah, down this back straight, Grosjean is trying to be late on the brakes, I think, down here, but he's not going to be late enough on the brakes. He does brake later than us, but we do manage to get a good enough speed through the corner, good enough momentum through the corner to keep our 7th place for now, and we still lost 2 seconds to Ricciardo already on this first lap of the race. We just don't really have the pace of the top end cars in this race. But anyway, let's have a look at this replay, because as we head down to turn number 1, you can see I'm the Toro Rosso on the inside here. I'm just going down the inside. There's a big old gap, and I thought, let's just go for it here. Romain Grosjean leaves his space, and I don't know why, but he just gives a big open gap, and I just go for it. So that was how I got past Romain Grosjean. Now we need to look at myself trying to get past Felipe Massa. You can see he's going side by side with Ricciardo currently, and then there's space for me to go past him, and there is a bit of contact there as I do try and get past Felipe Massa here. Not very good camera views here in America, I'm not going to lie guys. The replay cameras aren't that great through this sort of the S's part of the track here, but see, Massa gave me a space down the inside and I went for it, but yeah, all lost quite a bit of time to Daniel Ricciardo in front of me there. So obviously would have liked to have been a bit closer to Daniel Ricciardo down this back straight here. Hopefully we've been able to have slipstream him, but it wasn't the case, and we were just a bit too far behind. We had Romain Grosjean obviously behind us. He's got the Mercedes power down the straight as well, so that was always going to be quite tough to defend from him. And as we skip ahead to lap number 3 here, Romain Grosjean does have the help of DRS down this back straight here. You can see I go defensive down the inside. We pretty much break at the same point here, and Grosjean I think goes straight on and makes a bit of contact with Felipe Massa behind as well. I keep getting corner cutting out of that corner. It's more like track extending. Maybe you could fix that, Codemasters. Anyway, down the back straight, on board with Grosjean. This is how it looked from his point of view here. So I go defensive down the inside here. You can see Grosjean going to the outside here. And as we brake exactly the same time, I get close to hitting Grosjean there, but I didn't actually hit him. And then a bit of contact between him and Massa after my overtake, or re-overtake, happened after that. So yeah, that's a bit disappointing for Grosjean to have that bit of contact. But you can see by lap number 6, I pulled out a bit of a gap on Grosjean there, guys. I did start putting in some consistent lap times and pulled out about a 2-second gap over Romain Grosjean, which I thought at least was good. Definitely looks like my race pace is better than my qualifying pace. I mean, if we look back to practice session, I don't show you guys the practice sessions, but I did do quite a bit of practice around this track to start off with. I did, I think, 4 or 5 laps. For me, that's quite a bit of practice. I don't normally do like hundreds of laps of practice before each race weekend, but yeah, I did a decent amount of practice for me, and I got into the track, and on the prime tyres, I thought I did some pretty decent lap times in not in qualifying, in practice. In qualifying, obviously my lap time wasn't that good, so yeah, obviously everything we can improve on in this career mode is just be a bit more consistent, in my opinion. That's probably one of the things we can do, and hopefully I can be more consistent throughout the rest of this career mode. But we're actually going to go on board here with Romain Grosjean. This is a lap after that we both pitted, so Grosjean and I pitted on the same lap. You can see he's been overtaken by one of the Force India, and we've got some couple of cars coming out of the pit lane here. I think one of them, yeah, that's the Force India of Perez, I think, coming out just in front of Hulkenberg, and then I think that's Kvyat in front of both those Force Indias there. So yeah, you can see this all from Romain Grosjean's point of view here, through the S's here. He tries to keep up the Force Indias here, and I think he just about does. He's trying to look for a move down the inside, I think, through his next couple of corners, because I think he does have the race pace over the Force Indias here, but he's unlucky. He got held up in the pit lane a little bit, and that means he's got stuck up behind them here. And obviously, in my opinion at least, the Force India doesn't have quite as much downforce as the Lotus, so they probably should be a bit faster in a straight line, but through the majority of this track you'd say that the Lotus should be a bit closer to him. But down this sort of hairpin here, it doesn't get exactly the greatest run here. You can see the car in front of Hulkenberg does get a good run on Grosjean, but they both open DRS at this point here, and it just seems like Grosjean hasn't got the straight line speed. Maybe he put a different setup on, which is a bit strange if he did. But anyway, on to the braking point, you can see the Force India cars going side by side. Perez obviously on the outside, who came out in front after the pit stop, keeps the position for now. And Hulkenberg, he tries to look to the inside with a bit of a cutback move, but he couldn't get that done. And yeah, it just stays how it is really. But it's interesting to see AI going for overtakes. It's really good to see. That's one of the things I really do like about this game. AI actually making mistakes, going for overtakes. It just makes it all a lot better. But anyway, for us, we had a good race in my opinion. We managed to pull out a big gap over Kvyat. And obviously it came down a little bit towards the end of the stint as my tyres were going off, and I can't really control that really. I tried turning on anti-lock brakes, obviously it helped out a little bit there, but you can see we crossed the line. Was that 14 seconds behind Bottas? I think when we came out of the pit lane, guys, it was about 7 seconds to Bottas. So we pretty much lost about 8 to 9 tenths a lap over Bottas, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'll take it, especially considering where you saw my qualifying pace, which is not good whatsoever. And if you look at my race pace there, guys, my best lap time was a 1:42.8. My teammates, you know, I was 4 tenths faster than him, so that's pretty decent there. So I finished 7th place, get 6 points, which is good. Finish ahead of Kvyat, which is also good as well. You can see, is that Raikkonen got a penalty as well? I think, yeah, Kimi Raikkonen got a penalty. So that's disappointing for him. They actually lost him a position, but it's good for us because we're actually battling him in the championship. And we have a look at the standings right here. You can see that's actually sort of helped us keep ahead of him in the standings. So that's good. We keep our P5 with a couple of rounds to go. Anyway, guys, see you in the next episode in Mexico for a brand new Grand Prix. It's been Alex out here. Goodbye.